This PS1 take on Resident Evil 4 is quite unique, as the game was developed using the Unity game engine, but it uses the old school PS1 style graphics. Now this is a fan made version of the game. Now it's only limited to a certain portion of the game itself, but what's quite phenomenal is the developer has managed to use a lot of the references from the game, even due to the textures of the original concept of Resident Evil 4. As we all know, Resident Evil 4 is probably the most successful and the most popular over-the-shoulder third-person shooter ever to be made for computers and game consoles, but it's also the most ported video game ever in history, as there's versions of the game literally everywhere. Even more recently, we're having a VR version where you can use the VR headset. So there's so many angles and ways in which you can play this game, and now the fact is fans are putting together a version of it that you can play on the PS1, and it plays very similar to the likes of the original Resident Evil 2 and even Resident Evil 3 on the PS1, is a testament to how great Resident Evil 4 truly is. Now this is only a short demo, so you only have this portion of the game to play, and from getting access to it, it's pretty cool. Now you can't use a controller with this version of the game, instead you have to use the keyboard, but it's still pretty cool to see what is possible. And for me personally, as this is one of my favourite games of all time, I would love to see something like this, but even a different take, even if it's not Resident Evil, which could be a thing due to copyright reasons, but even if they were to use the concept and the build from this game to create a different type of survival horror game based on something else, but utilise the same aesthetics and mechanics, would be really awesome. But that's the cool thing, even with modern games now, is that you're not just confined to the likes of this hyper realistic graphical style. All of these old school classic style of games and graphics from even the PS1 era are starting to come back and make a resurgence as they're becoming even more popular. I know myself, because I spent a bit of time in college years ago studying video game design, and I've always been intrigued and quite obsessed with the PS1 visual style. It's always been my favourite style of graphics, because the PS1 is my favourite console. But if I was ever to develop games, this is a style of game I would go for. Even though, yes, hyper realistic graphics are really cool, but there's just something really charming and nostalgic about creating games in this old school theme. I think it really stands out, and the fact is that you can get so much detail out of all of the limitations of the graphics, as clearly can be shown here. This is proof that it is possible, and I would love to see more games like this, especially in the old school Resident Evil style with the fixed camera angles and still images or pre-rendered backgrounds. I'd love to see more of these coming back in this kind of form, as a lot of fans like myself would go crazy to get their hands on these types of games. So you are starting to see more of these, so it's great to see fans taking on the role of developing builds like this and to see them in action. So hopefully we will see more in the future. And to see more of this game, I will leave a link down to the channel down in the description of gameplay from the original creator that made this demo, so you can go and check that out, as they do a lot of other cool demos from other unique franchises that are also influenced by PS1 graphics. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this unique fan build of Resident Evil 4 with the PS1 style. What do you think of it? Is this something that you would play for yourself? And if so, would you like to see more of these type of games being released in more modern games? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be updated when future videos are released. And if you'd like to see more videos where I do cover a lot more of these fan mods and games that are heavily influenced by the PS1 era, then be sure to check out the playlist here on screen to see more of those games in action. So until next time, make sure to keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and keep those gaming memories alive.